Hello, this is Josh with Court Reserve, and this video is going to go over the Organized Play add-on. We will have an article on this add-on over on our knowledge base, and then if you have any additional questions, you can always reach out to our live support team over on this green button in the top right corner. So this feature is going to be an add-on, so if we want to enable this, we'll want to go over to Settings on the sidebar, and then we'll want to scroll to the bottom of this page over on the add-ons row, and then we'll just want to click on Manage Add-ons right here. During beta, this is going to be a free add-on, but once we fully release it, it will be $25 a month. And once we are ready to enable that add-on, we'll just want to click the Enable button, and then we can agree to this disclosure right here. And then once we've agreed to that, we can hit the Setup button and get started with setting up this feature. All right, so the first setting on the setup page here is going to be which event categories that we want to enable Organized Play for. So here we'll just want to select those categories we'll be using this feature for. The next setting will be the allocation order preference. So this is going to be telling the system how we should assign the members when we are using Organized Play. The two options right here are going to be random or the sign up order. So if we want that assignment to be completely random, or if we want to choose the assignment depending on when the member had actually registered for the event, we'll just want to choose the preference here. All of these settings are really just going to be a default. When we are setting up the actual event, we'll be able to change any of these settings on a specific event. So anything that we set up on this page is more of just going to be a default in the system. The next setting is going to be the rating categories. These are really just going to be those custom ratings that we have inside of your organization. So we'll just want to pick and choose which ratings that we'll want to apply Organized Play to. So the next setting is going to be allow player pairing. This is going to allow players to play together. So if you have two players that register for the same event and they prefer to play together during that event, we can allow player pairing right here. The next setting, if we enable allow player pairing, is going to be to allow broken pairs. This setting here is basically going to say, if we allow player pairing, but we can't get those players to pair together in an event, we'll allow them to not be paired if needed when setting up that event. And again, if we leave this unchecked, the members would have to be paired. So if they can't be paired together, they're going to end up on the alternate list for the event. The next setting here is going to be to allow mixed skilled matchups. So if we want, for example, 3.0s to be able to match with 3.5s in an event, we'll want to allow mixed skilled matchups here. And then once we enable that, we're going to have a skill level deviation field. So we can choose how many skill levels or how many values in that custom rating that the system will deviate from while setting up or assigning these members. So if we want 3.0s to be able to match with 3.5s or 2.5s, we'll want to click one skill level deviation. One thing that I would like to point out here is that the skill level deviation setting is going to look at the custom ratings in the order that they are added in the system. So let me jump over to the custom ratings page. I'll kind of show you what I mean here. So on the custom ratings page, I'll just show you my tennis ratings right here. The system is going to be looking at these in the order that they are added here. So if they are not in numerical order, the system is going to deviate based on what rating is above or below the one that the member has here. So we'll want to make sure that these are sorted, and we'll just want to make sure that all of these are set up in numerical order so that if we are doing the mixed skill matchups, it will deviate the skill levels correctly. So the next setting is going to be the maximum players per court. This is just going to be the amount of players that are assigned to each court that is set up in this event that is using Organized Play. So if we want to match, 4 players per court during the event, 6 players, 8 players will be able to set up that maximum here. And then we can also choose to allocate gender equally if we would like to do that. So if we would like to make sure that there are 2 males and 2 females assigned to the courts, we can set that up right here. And then the last setting is going to be to show allocated members' names on schedulers in the member portal. Once we have that event set up, this setting will allow us to show the member's name on the scheduler, depending on the court that they are assigned to. So if me, Josh, gets assigned to court 4 on the organized play event, once we have assigned the members, my name will show on this event on court 4. And then, anybody that's assigned to court 2 or court 3 will show up on that time slot for the event on the scheduler. All right, so once we have the setup page ready to go, we can save changes here. Again, these are just going to be defaults that we set up here. So we'll be able to change any of these settings when we're actually setting up the event in the system. So let me move over to the create event page. I'll kind of go over how we can actually set this up for an event. All right, so now I am on the create event page, and the way that we'll be able to actually enable organized play for a specific event is going to be under the category field. So once we select one of those event categories that is eligible for organized play, we'll now see an is organized play event checkbox here. This will only show up if we choose a category that is eligible for organized play. Now that we have enabled organized play for this event here, the settings related to organized play are going to be on the bottom of this page where the event setup tab is. Where there used to be just the registration restrictions tab is now going to say registration/organized play restrictions. When we go to this tab, we are going to see all of the typical registration restrictions for this event, but we'll also notice that we now have the organized play setup section here as well. And by default, the rating category that we choose for organized play is going to be the allowed rating category for the rating restrictions under the registration restrictions on this event. So again, all of those settings that we have on the organized play setup page are going to just be defaults. So when we are actually creating an event, if we need to change anything, we'll be able to do that here. And once we have all of the organized play settings set up and ready to go, and once this event is set up, we'll be able to click Save Changes. And then from here, I'll kind of show you how organized play works in an actual event on the admin side and on the member side. All right, so now I have this organized play event in the system. I've added some registrants to it. So now I'll show you what the event looks like from the member side prior to allocating the members, and then also afterwards on the member portal. When we click the event page and we show registrants, so this is something that only shows if we are showing registrants on the member portal, is now we are going to be able to see the ratings that each member has for this event if organized play is enabled for that event. On the admin side, I'm over on the event list. I'll just click on this event here. The new tab that you'll want to look for is the organized play tab right here. And when we click on this, we'll be able to see when the registration window for this event is ending. So we will have a countdown clock on the admin side, so we know how much longer the registration window is open for members. And once we are ready to allocate the registrants for this event, we are going to have an allocate courts and players button right here. One thing that I would like to add here before we click this button, if a member registers into this event and they do not have a custom rating assigned to them, they are going to be categorized under the lowest rating value that you have in the system for your custom ratings. All right, so once we are ready to allocate the courts and the players for this event right here, we can click this button. It'll say, are you sure you wish to allocate courts and view court assignments? And once we click the yes button here, we'll get to the allocate courts and players page. Now that we are on the allocate courts and players page, we're going to have those members that are assigned to each court here. If we need to move a member to the alternate list manually, we'll be able to do that on this page. We can also sub a certain member out for another member on a certain court if we need to. And then we'll also have the alternate list. So anybody that could not get assigned to a court. And once we are ready to finalize this allocation, we'll want to click the finalize page. It'll say, are you sure you wish to finalize the court assignments? And when we click the yes button, that will bring us over back to the organized play tab under the matches tab right here. And we'll be able to see each court that is assigned to this event and also each of the players that is assigned to each court. Members are not going to be able to see the allocation from the member portal until you finalize it. So if you click the allocate button, but you don't finalize it, you'll be able to look at that from the admin side, but that will not show on the member portal until you finalize that allocation. A few things to point out here for organized play. Once the allocation has been finalized, you'll want to click the email players button to notify these members. Members are not going to get any sort of automatic email notification or text alert related to this event. So all emails that are generated for an organized play event are going to be sent out manually from the admin side. Again, we can choose if we want to email just the players that are allocated to courts. We can also choose to email the alternate list if you want to as well. Another thing to point out is that for any event that is using organized play, we are only going to be able to do drop-in registrations. So if we head back over to the general info page, I'll add a recurrence here just so we can see this in the system. You'll notice that we don't have the option here to enable full registration for this event. All right, so after we have allocated the members and assigned them to courts, when we go over to the event on the member portal, we are now going to be able to see which court each member is assigned to. So members will be able to see this on the member portal. And again, this is only going to show once we have finalized that allocation of members from the admin side. Also, when we are allowing player pairing, when a member has registered into the event from the member portal, after they have registered, they're going to be able to see a pair button. And from here, they can select a member that they would like to pair with and then save changes. After they have paired with that member, they're going to be able to see that member's name on the member portal. And if they need to unpair, they can also do that as well. All right, and that goes over the organized play feature, how it works in the system, and how to set it up. Again, we do have an article that goes over this in our knowledge base. And if you have any additional questions, always feel free to reach out to our live chat. The live support button is going to be this green icon right here.